you have been the most consistent man in my life
Hmm.
because I didn't have, well, I had a father figure, but I'm not gonna put my mom business out like that. But it just
Don't do
wasn't.
that. Don't do that.
No, no, no. I
Don't
don't.
do
I don't
that.
want. I don't
You ain't
want
too
that
old to get a
smoke.
whooping. You ain't too old to
I,
get a whooping. Don't do that.
no, I don't want that smoke. But it was just. It wasn't consistent.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
meeting you, I can admit I was very questionable. It was just
Hmm.
really suspicious. It's like, how does a man who I barely even know shows more interest in me than what I get at home?
Yeah.
And it was just really like suspicious. I
Yeah.
can't lie. Like
Yeah,
I
you
was
wonder why, right? So
skeptical.
let me tell you, I've seen that suspicion before, and
Yeah.
I felt that suspicion when I met the gentleman who was for me what I am for you.
Okay.
Okay, his name was Lawrence McKinley. He was a coach here in the city of Saginaw, and Lawrence McKinley was somebody who believed in me. The first time I met Lawrence McKinley, this was back in the day where your neighbors could whoop you.
Yeah.
Okay. This was back in the day when your mama sent you next door to go buy some sugar and some flour. I don't know if any of your followers and your fans know anything about that. This is back in the day when you walked around with a radio on your shoulder and you hit two buttons for the cassette tape to play. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't know nothing about that. You're young. Okay. But literally I had stole money from my mom, and this gentleman had discovered that this group of kids was, we had a bunch of stuff we shouldn't have had. And when he found out who I was, he later whooped me in front of these kids. And I was like, who is this old man? Then he took me to my mama house, which I was shocked to find out he knew. And then my mama whooped me. Okay, so I got two whoopings. It was one of them two whooping bad decisions.
Oh
Okay.
man. Yeah.
This was back in the day where your neighbors could do that. But he became one of the greatest mentors in my life. Okay. His name was Coach Lawrence McKinley at Heaven Ridge Elementary School. I went out for the basketball team, and that gentleman saw something great inside of me. When I went off to college to become an All American football player, that gentleman was still with me. Okay. When I went into the Hall of Fame at Central Michigan, he was there. When I entered into the 1995 NFL draft, he was there. And when he passed away, my last conversation with him was, and this was our last conversation. But he said, I said to him, I said, man, I thank you for everything you did for me. I wish I could pay you back. And he says, you can and you will. And the best way for you to pay me back is to do for others what I did for you. So in many ways, I just try to live my life and keep my promise to my coach, because I was a broken little boy who was just looking for an adult male that I could trust, that would show me the way to manhood.
Yeah. And I just think that a whole lot of kids, especially in our city and stuff, and just really go through that, just
Yeah.
the lack of identity, because I don't care what they say, a father is needed. A father is more
Right.
important. It's very important. It
Yeah.
plays the same dynamic and nowadays it's just people just not being responsible and not finding stability
Yeah.
in the bloodline. And just recently, we, when I say we, me and John looked up our
Hmm.
family history, and
Uh-huh.
we were just finding out all these different relatives and our ancestors, and it was just really just empowering
Yeah.
knowing that we don't come from filth. We actually come from greatness. We come
There
from
you
people
go.
that actually done
Yeah.
things. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it is just really just a difficult research if you don't have, I would say, both parents in the household, because you got to
Right.
go and locate your father or your sperm donor nowadays,
Yeah.
and you got to find out and piece missing clues together.
Right.
And luckily, I would say from my mother that she made sure we all had the same father, regardless of how they deny it. But
Yeah. Yeah.
we all had the same father, so it was a lot easier. But just knowing
Hmm.
that where I came from just gave me just a newfound respect for my last name.
That's right. I think you talk about John. John is, for those who are online with us here, John is my little brother,
Hmm.
who's grown up to be a great man, okay, and a phenomenal person. Great dad, great
Absolutely.
husband. Just I'm so proud of who he's become. He's also grown up to become what I would say the historian
Yeah.
of our family. I know more about at 50. I know now more about my father's side of the family, and it's majorly got to do with the work that John has done, and the information he's been able to share with us. I'm excited to be able to add to that information. I just recently got some information where I can submit some of my DNA and find out where our people are from. We know they're from Africa, but where in Africa and what and literally to what tribe.
Hmm.
So by the time I'm done with this process, I will be able to add that information to what John has